And good afternoon. Welcome, everybody, to Tilson Live. So we are joined today as we are... Oh, I forgot who I am. Let me first start with who I am. I'm Eric Allered, Senior Vice President, Tilson Homes, a member of the fourth generation of the Tilson family. So grateful to be a part of this. We are joined, as we are every week, by our Director of Marketing and all things that you see wonderful on social media and on Tilson's website, Mrs. Dawn Dantzler.
Hi, everybody.
So Dawn's here. And then we are rejoined by a veteran special guest hailing out of our office in Boerne, by golly, Texas, Mr. JC Arocha.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
JC, thanks for joining us. And I'm going to try and make you blush here. I think it should be known to everybody who's joining us. And y'all jump on in. Tell us where you're hailing from. We'd love to know where you're joining us from. Looking forward to chatting with everybody today. But before that, I would be remiss if I did not. Oh, Aledo, Texas. I got really good friends in Aledo, and got good friends in Kerrville, so even better. So if I did not mention that JC last year, 2020, was one of, I think, maybe just 2 or 3 salespeople in the entire company to cross the 50 sales mark. So congratulations, JC. On average, let this sink in, folks. On average, hello, David. That means that a Tilson family that was consulted by JC, designed by JC, and started by JC about once a week moves into their new Tilson home. So thank you, JC, on behalf of all those families and on behalf of Tilson for your hard work. So that was awesome. Thank you. All right, we got JC and Betsy and George. Oh, hi, JC. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Betsy and George, they are on contract right now. We're trying to start their home.
Awesome.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Okay, well, folks, y'all jump on in. We're live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. We're going to talk today about customizing a model home that JC is very familiar with because we happen to have one sitting there in Boerne, Texas, and that is the Frio. So the Frio model, JC is going to take us through what these great folks did. And what do we got there, Dawn?
Tracy is starting her Frio in Henley soon. Just finalized colors and plans with Junior in San Marcos.
Very cool. Very cool.
And David says, congratulations, JC. Brian is joining us. They're building in Caldwell County with a stakeout site evaluation next Wednesday.
All right. All right. Well, y'all keep joining in. Let us know where you're coming in from. We're going to let JC go ahead and kick this off a little bit. JC, I want you to tell us a little bit about, for the folks who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself other than the gigantic 50 number of sales you had last year. How long you've been with Tilson, what you enjoy doing out there in Boerne, Texas, and then we'll take off with the Frio.
Yeah, well, I've been with Tilson now for 5 years. I'm in my 6th. Wow. We've moved into our beautiful new showroom back here. We used to be in a little office up front. The park looks amazing from the road. And I think that's attracting a lot of folks. So I don't think a lot of people knew what we really did here until we opened it up and just made it look amazing. Thanks to the team who made that happen. We get to show off a lot of the newer accessories and other things we can do to homes in this new place. They incorporate a lot of that in there. Like I said, it's been great with this new year and selling 50 homes. It's a new world out there. We're taking advantage of it.
Incredible. Incredible.
Awesome.
All right, man. Well, thanks for that. And so tell us a little bit about what brought these folks in. Where were they moving from? Where were they moving to? And let's talk about the Frio a little bit.
Right. Yeah. Well, Preston and Margie, they were living in Spring. That's where they were working. They both had careers there. They were getting ready to retire. They bought a beautiful piece of property in the Medina Valley. They set up themselves kind of a metal building for their RV, and they were ready to build a home. We've been talking for, I guess, more than a year before they actually went on contract. Last January 11th is when they went on contract. So
cool.
And as usual, right about a year. We hope to move them in soon. But they had some particular, they loved the Frio. They had a few modifications to make, and we made it happen.
So definitely want to point out the fact that, yeah, they were living and working in the greater Houston area, you said, in Spring, Texas. where we obviously have a design center, but because they were kind of moving out to that hill country, Medina County, I think kind of north of Dehanis area, they chose to work out of the Boerne location because that's where the Frio model home was, and that was convenient for them. It's really important for everyone to know that you get to work out of whatever office you want to, whatever sales consultant you feel comfortable with, whatever office is convenient for you. Obviously, just knowing, like Dawn's mentioned many times, you'll need to make a couple of trips in to do some paperwork, obviously design center selection stuff. But yeah, we try to make it very, very convenient for our customers. That the pricing is based on where you are building, not what office that you're working with. So thanks for taking care of them like that, JC. Tell us a little bit about the Frio model home you got sitting there in Boerne, Texas.
Well, Frio basically got 2,009 square feet, really well laid out. People always say that it feels bigger than a 2,000 square foot home. It starts out.
Definitely does.
Yeah, it's just the way it's laid out is just really nice. Has a beautiful front porch, has a nice rear covered porch. The family room about 18 by 18. Just simple 3-bedroom, 2-bath. The Preston and Margie didn't do a garage. People are always asking if we can put a garage on. Of course we can. It's up to you. But they've already got, like I said, a metal building out there to protect their cars, so they didn't need one. But it's always an option. It would go off of that utility room. That window you see is where the garage or the door to the garage would go.
Yeah, what I like about this plan, I'm sorry, JC, is it is split, in fact, front to back. So I like the 2 separate entrances to the bedroom areas. A lot of people think that a split floor plan has to be split left to right, and the reality is you can't there's no common walls of any of the bedrooms. In fact, it's like even these are separated by a walk-in closet, so there's sound barriers between every single room. Everybody kind of has their own little private space, which is a very unique feature.
Yeah. And it's built really for a view, because when you're standing in it, you've got on that right-hand side, you've got about 180 degrees of glass. So it brings in a lot of natural light. The windows out to that covered patio are 6 by 6'6". They're enormous. So folks who have a great view looking out over a valley, this is definitely one of the homes they need to take a look at.
Very, very cool. Okay, so talk to us a little bit about what drew them to this plan, and then kind of some of the changes that maybe they made to it. Just kind of take us around the horn in order that Don's labeled them here.
Okay, so again, they were looking for a view. They've got a nice view back there. They wanted to add a little bit to the rear porch, so they added some uncovered patio. We call it monolithic slab, but that's just for a little bit of overflow. It's tied into the actual slab of the house, but it gives you a little extra room for barbecue pits, flowers, whatever it is you want to put out there, without the additional cost of putting it under roof line. So they were looking for just a little more outdoor living space.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
The windows, number 2 there. There are 2 casement windows, smaller tall windows up on the wall there. They wanted longer windows, and they wanted to be able to open and close them. So SH stands for single hung, so they can bring air and refresh the room when they feel like opening up during a pretty day.
Sure.
Great.
We built them a fireplace. They went with a wood burning fireplace with a cedar mantle and a TV setup. I think there'll be a slide later on that shows the wood.
Yeah, I guess beautiful pictures of that.
Yeah, they did a simple surround and a cedar mantle on the wall. They didn't choose to go with the full stone hearth, but that's always an option. We can take stone all the way to the ceiling.
Okay.
Okay, so they are retiring and they're thinking toward their elderly years. They wanted to make sure that all of their doorways were 3 feet wide. That's just a reality of getting older. I'm there. But it's something that a lot of folks consider when they're designing a house now. It's really common. Us boomers we're aging out. So we even did things like, we'll get around to the master bath. We made it a roll-in shower, so there wasn't a lip there.
Perfect.
Right. They added under cabinet lighting. A couple of $100 there on a separate switch. It really makes that kitchen area charming. You don't want to have to turn on all the lights. It's really convenient. And then again, back to that master bath, they did the walk-in. There's a custom plan already priced out to give you a walk-in shower. And then they modified it just a little bit more. They didn't need 2 shower heads. They wanted one. They wanted to put a glass door on there. Some folks say they get a little chilly if they, because the standard is to have it wide open. Some folks have the open shower concept. Some still want a glass door so they could, get nice and toasty warm under that hot water. And again, we added grab bars for them. That's always an option. They're not expensive, and it's best to do it during the construction phase because you want to block those so that they've got a secure grip on that wall. You can go back and do it later, but you don't know if you're going to hit a stud or something else back there. And you go to grab that grab bar and it falls right on the wall.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Good to go. Anything else?
Now, I guess they just made a fixed window over there on the side, and that's about it.
Yeah, they didn't. There are 2 casement windows above the bed area in that master bedroom. They didn't want it to be separated like that, so we replaced those with one 6-foot long by 2-foot tall window. It's set up high in the wall, so it gives light to the room, but still allows for privacy.
Nice.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, yeah, all in all, I mean, not really a whole lot of changes to this plan. It looks like they kind of liked it the way it was. The footprint wise, I don't really notice much. I do notice the living area got a little bigger. I know we did a little bit bigger wall over here down the side, but yeah, they got rid of the tub, which we see a lot of folks doing that these days.
Yeah, that's a little something that Preston wanted to do. That's the western edge of the house. And he wanted to make that a 2x6 wall so he could cram extra insulation in there and help keep the house cooler during the summers.
There you go. Yeah, I noticed that the wall's 2x6. I forgot to say, folks, of course, ask all your questions. We will be answering questions throughout the presentation here. And then obviously we'll answer all your questions at the end as well if we don't happen to catch them. So ask all your questions. Don's monitoring the chat, of course, along with Nick and Kelsey, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. So ask us all the questions you want to ask. Anything new home or custom home related, we'd love to hear from you. So talk to us about what's going on.
Okay, so front elevation here is pretty much standard. You have all of that stone is included. You have some wainscoting underneath that porch. That door, however, is an upgrade. You get a very nice door in the stock Frio. You get a very nice mahogany door and clear glass side lights, but they upgraded to a fancier door with the glass, and I think that's the Texas Star that they went with.
Of course.
Pretty, but included things, that's the standard shingle by Owens Corning. That's all hardy plank that you see. If it isn't stone, you get the 30-year hardy guarantee on all that.
Very, very nice. And I see, of course, that big covered porch. Here we got another shot over here. I want to point out a couple of things. Looks like we got an LP propane tank over here.
True.
So they did that because they didn't want to be all electric. Notice that they got the ridge venting going all the way across the top. So we're obviously in a climate zone 2 area where we did bat insulation and blown fiberglass. Kind of see what you're talking about here. I see the metal buildings, see their RV and covering or porte cochere for the RV. So yeah, definitely they were able to kind of live out here while the home was being built, which is a very unique thing to Tilson. We do that not infrequently, where folks are living on site and kind of watching everything. And I didn't quite catch. I meant to ask you before we started, but it looks like they've got some kind of a personalized brick.
They must have had a mason do that for them.
I think they did. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not sure what it says, but I'm sure it's something very meaningful to the customer. I thought that was a really nice touch. But
very nice.
Anyway, so here's another shot of that. Yeah, that's a better shot.
It's a big, beautiful front porch.
Yeah, so we builder Daniel Forbes is their builder, and he's just went all out for them. I think they're very happy with him.
Great.
Yeah, a lot of that gets lost on this home. What a large front covered porch this is, but it's really, really incredible. Plenty of room for sitting, swing, anything like that. Table, even, and chairs. You can do that on this house. It's really unique. You can do that on the front or the back, which is quite nice. And yeah, you can see the view to the back, kind of this plateau, looking up towards the northern Medina County, which is great. Tell us about the back of the home, JC.
Back of the home, once again, standard. That is our lap hardy board along the back of it. Those are those 2 big windows in the master bedroom. The air conditioner, they chose to put it there. You will tell us where you want the air conditioner to go. Some folks like to move it around, put it off to the side of the house, but that's something you work out with one of our stakeout technicians. The 3 windows you see, that is your dining area. Your nice French door coming off that dining area onto your back patio. Those big 6x6 windows. And again, they added some of that monolithic slab underneath the windows at the dining area to give them a little bit more outdoor living space.
Yeah, it's a great touch. And you can kind of see, mechanically, we try to put as much of the plumbing vents to the back of the home as possible, so you're not seeing them on that front elevation. We got a couple that there's just no way around it, and some like water heaters, those kind of things. Just that's what you're looking at here. They can only vent so far, but on the back of all of our other plumbing vents that we possibly can, we try to put them on the back of the home so you're not seeing them. And of course, your electrical service happens to be back here. That's going to depend on where power is coming into your home on your property. So. And I think this is the back of the master closet, if I remember correctly. So it's
Yes.
great for the AC to come in.
Yeah.
Dawn, do we have any questions we want to pause for right this second, and we can help answer?
We do. Let me pull them up. Let's see. Tracy just wanted to give a shout out to Jane. Had a great stakeout site evaluation appointment with her. We're going to give Mark a shout out because he is watching us from Germany.
Hey, Mark.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for staying up so late.
Yeah. Tracy is complimenting the choice of the larger windows on the fireplace. They're doing that in their build as well. Lane has a question about how much it is to add a wood burning fireplace in zone 2.
I can get that for you. The fireplace itself with a simple surround, you're going to start on an outside wall at about $9,000. Throw in a couple more $1,000 for stone all the way to the ceiling, the stone hearth, the cedar mantle. If you want to mount your TV, that's $192. If you want a TV mount or a TV setup so that you can hang it there off the fireplace. So you're probably going to get in climate zone 2 with a wood burning accelerator fireplace to about $11,000 or so.
Okay. And then he's also curious what happens if it's in zone 3.
In zone 3, okay, there you're going to be closer to $16,000. You have to have a specialized firebox. In zone 3, you get the foam insulation. You don't have the ridge venting. It's a really airtight house, and there's no draw up the chimney. So when your air conditioning kicks on, the return air is going to suck the smoke back into your house with the standard accelerator fireplace. So you have to go with something we call the Constitution fireplace that allows it to vent and keeps you from pulling all that smoke back into your house when your air conditioner turns on.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, well, very well explained. That's something that's I know you'll get to explain a lot out there where you are, because a lot of folks want it. But yeah, the customers are paying us good money to have their homes built super tight and energy efficient, and then the only downside of that, rural living wise, is that you put a fireplace in a tight house. Mm-hmm. How do you, particularly wood burning, how do you make it draw? Nothing. And like you said, as soon as that AC kicks on, the return air has enough power, because there's very little resistance, because it's a very tight house, that it can actually suck that smoke back out of the chimney if you don't put the right kind of fireplace in that home. Well said.
Yeah, something to be careful about. Kenneth says just signed our contract last week to have the new ASIS-D built in Brazoria County, and is super excited to have stakeout tomorrow.
Very cool.
Awesome. Let's see. Brian is asking what is behind the stove. I guess on the floor plan, he couldn't read what the small writing was.
I guess this is probably a niche, but let me cruise back there and double check.
Yes, in the hallway.
Oh, it's the desk. It's the desk on the opposite wall. Is that what you're asking about?
It is. Yeah, that's what it's going to be, and we're gonna check that. We got pictures of that coming up, Brian. So that's a great question.
All right. Let's see. Texas Native has a 2-part question asking about the Color Plus products offered by Hardy Plank, the pre-colored siding. Is that something that we have? We have had customers request it. We've used it. They do limit the number of colors. You can't just have any Sherwin-Williams color you want, which is kind of how we bill it. It does limit you as to your. I haven't checked recently, so I could be wrong, but at the time there were only about 15 or 18 different exterior colors you could choose from, which theoretically should be enough, but our customers like their choice. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's one caveat to it. Also, the warranty on the Color Plus technology is not as long. But if it's a product that you really want, that's fine. I can tell you, in this part of the world, in the hill country out there where JC's selling these and this home's being built, you can go quite a while without having to repaint these homes. I've seen customers that go 15 years or more. I don't necessarily recommend that, but it doesn't really affect the warranty of the Hardy. Whereas alternatively in the Gulf Coast, only because it's a more humid climate, obviously, it's not that the paint doesn't last as long, but you do have kind of sometimes a mildew or buildup on it that you want to get pressure washed. And when you pressure wash over and over again, you're going to need to repaint eventually. But even the Color Plus can fade. So just read the paperwork very carefully.
Okay. Makes sense. And then let's see. Eddie is asking, is the walk-in shower upgrade an available option on all floor plans?
No, not so much. It can be done. We just don't have it pre-priced. We can do it in any home. I've done it. We do it red pens and whiteout, and then we can calculate the cost of that versus if you're replacing a tub. But we can make that happen for you. No worries.
Yeah, Eddie, any of our design centers can price out whatever size shower you want in any of our plans. So.
Great. Sarah is asking about timelines. Are we experiencing any delays right now? She just signed her contract with Jerry in spring and has her stakeout scheduled for next week. So what are we seeing right now? Is everything going smoothly, or?
What are you seeing, JC?
Well, I saw my friend Eric Allerid on one of these a few weeks ago where he was saying we were stretching out from 9 to 12 months to possibly 14 months. That's just the reality of COVID and the volume increase we've had. I've heard builders have to do certain things like they can't schedule a plumber and an electrician on the same day. They have to wait a day in between for the COVID piece. They're doing their best. We have material shortages sometimes because the suppliers, they have to shut down their factory because there's a COVID situation. We may take a little longer to get some windows delivered. That's been a problem up here. Tile factories. It's affecting the entire supply chain. We're still keeping up. We're doing our best. Our builders are out there working, late days and early mornings to get it done. So we're still trying to keep you within that 1 year-ish build cycle from contract to keys.
Okay. Great. Arena is asking what stone they chose for the exterior.
I just looked that up.
I think they answered her, by the way, on the chat. I think Nick and Kelsey one picked it up.
Yeah.
Blanca Quarry Chop.
We don't even need to be here anymore, guys.
I know.
Just let them run in the chat. JC's got all the answers.
I know. We can just sit here and smile.
I'm going to take a nap while y'all close this out.
All right. Texas Native is asking about metal roofs. Since they're common in the hill country, what would be a ballpark estimate of how much that would increase the cost?
Okay, so we're going to estimate and do what we call an allowance upgrade. We don't know exactly because we don't know what metal is going to do. Sometimes it comes back at $9 or $10 a square foot of slab under roof line, and sometimes it comes back at $15 per square foot. We're going to take our best educated guess. We're going to put some money into the loan, and then they're going to bid it. Once we've signed off on your plans, we know you're not going to change roof line, not going to change the size of the house. Then our excellent people in pricing go out and they get a bid for it, and they get you the best price they possibly can.
Yeah, but I would budget. And I think he said his name was Richard. By the way, he didn't realize it was posting as an avatar. But by the way, I do like your sales skills, Mr. Texas Native. That, as you know, metal roofs are common. I for one can appreciate that assumptive close. I like it. But yeah, I would budget between $12 and $15 a square foot of slab area of total close-in, like JC was saying. So
so a square foot house, $30,000 or so.
Yeah, about $30,000 is what's going to increase the cost. And truly, Richard, it really is about aesthetics. Like, you're not getting from a resiliency or performance standpoint. They do not outperform or outlast the shingle roofs that we use, the Owens Corning Duration. We're not talking about just a regular old run-of-the-mill subdivision 3-tab. That's not what we're using. We're using a very sophisticated architectural dimensional shingle. And then you can if hail or something like that is a big concern to you. By the way, metal roofs are not warranted against hail. They're hail resistant. But we have a WeatherGuard HP shingle that is a tenth of that cost. And actually is tested and performs better. So if it's something that's wanting purely from a cosmetic standpoint, that's the only reason I would recommend it. And they are beautiful. I mean, a couple of our sales centers have metal roofs on them. So I get it. It's very pretty, but it's not, I want you to spend the money for the right reason, I guess, if you're going to spend the money.
Yep, they sound really pretty in the rain.
They do sound pretty in the rain.
All right. And then Doug is asking about water wells. Do we have a filter option to ensure clean drinking water? He's curious what type of filters are needed when you're not on city water.
Yeah, Doug, that's a great question. So Tilson doesn't typically install the filtration system, but there are dozens of companies that do, and we leave that up to those experts. Most predominantly what I see in that area is some type of a RO or reverse osmosis system, but it doesn't have to be that. I mean, I was in a house last weekend that's on a water well, and it just has, these big dense filters that you can buy on Amazon. We just change them out every time we go. It's kind of a weekend place, and they're cheap, and we just change them out every time we go up there. And so it doesn't have to be this super, super sophisticated. If you get proper well depth and a good potable, sustainable aquifer, that's the secret kind of to good wells. You don't have to work as hard, but there are very sophisticated UV light, reverse osmosis systems that some folks want in. So and it's probably not, the things aren't going in it. They're probably going in city water. We'll just leave it at that.
Okay, we'll try not to think too hard about that. Why don't we go ahead and resume the presentation, and we can pick up with questions in a little bit.
All right, yeah, y'all keep your questions coming in. We'd love to answer them. We're going to let JC pick us up on this beautiful home in Medina County, Texas, and go from there. Take it away, JC.
Good to go. Okay, so we're back at that rear covered porch. If you go back to the porch again, the posts, I want to point that out. Do you see those metal, the metal footing on the porch?
Mm-hmm.
Something special we do, and that keeps that post from rotting quickly. So it's really secured to that porch. It keeps that wood off the actual concrete. That helps it drain, so that those posts are going to last a lot longer than builds that don't have them.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't want any portion of that wood touching the concrete, actually on the concrete. So they're elevated, and then it's really decorative.
You can go on to the next. Okay, once again, beautiful entryway. You notice their tile is on the diagonal.
Mm-hmm.
And that is an option. It costs a little extra, but it really gives some charm to the home. And then that beautiful door. We use a company called Holster who supplies our doors. You have, maybe 20 or so selections. That's a 6/8 door with a 6/8 side lights. That is a standard foyer light fixture that comes down, and you can pick that in either the brushed nickel look or a bronze.
Nice.
Okay, standard kitchen, pretty much. They did add the crown molding, which is an option, all the way through the kitchen, dining area, and then over into the family room. That's a standard setup. I want to point out on either side of the range, there are rollout drawers in those base cabinets. That's standard on the Frio. In the pantry, there's a light. So there's an automatic switch that turns the light on in the pantry when you open that door.
Very nice.
And then in the tall cabinet next to the refrigerator, there's a wire shelf or wire rack inside of that cabinet that pulls out for can storage, makes it really convenient.
Oh, nice.
They did their own appliances. That is one thing that we will allow the client to do. We give them credit for the standard appliances because we don't have to install them. You go out, you purchase your appliances, you either install them or have them installed, and you get paid as a contractor for installing your own appliances.
A little better shot of them here.
Again, that's a gas range. They have that propane. And they also wanted the controls on the front, so as a safety feature.
Then notice the subway tile as well.
Subway tile along that, really pretty, very popular right now. We have it in our Wimberley model. Standard undermount sink. I believe that faucet is a little bit of an upgrade. It's taller than the standard faucet. Not inexpensive, really easy to do.
Beautiful. They did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
There's their fireplace and the taller windows that they wanted that would open and close. Some folks go with the stone all the way to the top. They went with a floor level hearth with a tile surround and then a nice big mantle. And if you look just above the mantle, okay, we put a couple of plugs up there for them. And they can mount their TV up there, or they can, during the holidays, have lights and other little decorations they can power up there.
Yep.
Very nice.
I want to notice again, just these massive windows, all the light coming in. I'm going to go back a slide or two, and if you can see the light pouring into this space, the dining, the family, the kitchen, and just even from the foyer, the light coming in. So that with all the traverse recessed LED lighting, I mean, it's well lit space.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah, there's your desk hall space. Now, in our standard builds, you're going to have carpet in hallways. They chose to get rid of the carpet and put in tile instead. They've got the granite countertop. They chose a different color granite, I believe, than they had in the kitchen. Again, that's a no-cost option. You basically work with one of our interior decorators to select your colors and finishes.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we're seeing this kind of make a comeback.
Yes.
A lot of kids doing this remote learning, and even people working from home, but having the kids in a space, not necessarily in their rooms. It's kind of research is showing that they perform better when they're not doing, a separate space for their schoolwork versus where they live and play. It goes for adults too, by the way, not just kids.
Yes.
So we're seeing a big resurgence of this designated kind of study or homework area. So this is a real nice touch now in these homes.
Very nice.
Again, their master bedroom, those windows on the side, those are standard, really nice, low cut, bring a lot of light into the room. And then the long window, the 6x2 window above the bed area, we originally had 2 windows in there. They wanted a complete clear plane of glass, so we made that happen for them.
Yeah, great space.
They also added crown molding back there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, nicely done.
And
look at that shower. Good gravy.
That is a shower.
That is a shower, 9 feet wide.
Wow.
By about 4 feet deep. And again, this isn't the standard custom option that we do. We modified it. We added that half wall so that we could put a bench in the back of it for them. We added those grab bars, and I think it turned out beautiful.
Yeah, and I happen to know that I think those grab bars are either 30 or 36 inches long, and they look like they just kind of disappear in that.
Yeah, they look like babies in that space.
So true.
But beautiful granite threshold down here, which is a nice custom feature. Of course, the semi-frameless glass. You got these big, beautiful hinges, and they did kind of a small mosaic tile on the floor. Actually, not just beautiful, but allows for really good grip. A little more grout in there helps the safety of that shower. For an aging in place kind of space.
And when you look at the cabinetry, they did an upgrade and went with taller cabinets in their bathroom.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Very nice.
Very nice.
Secondary bedrooms. Let's start with the one on the right. That is the little window seat that's included. It's part of the plan. I call it a teddy bear shelf. But a lot of folks who bring daughters in, the daughter always goes to that bedroom, and that's the one she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Really pretty. 9-foot ceiling in that room. The bedroom on the left, you've got a 10-foot ceiling. Bedrooms are almost exactly the same size, but visually, that 10-foot ceiling makes that room look a lot bigger, and those are 7-foot tall windows.
Yeah, that's where that gable is on the front of that home. It's a really, really pretty accent. Beautiful. So, round us out here, I think, and very close.
Yes, so utility room on the left, you have a little table there for folding and keeping stuff up there. All those cabinets are included up over the washer dryer area. Plenty of room in there. I think that's a 7-foot wide room by about 9, but ample space, 9-foot ceiling in there. The secondary bathroom, that is the standard setup. They went with a rectangular lavatory. You can also do an oval. There's no price difference.
Yeah, a nice big laundry hamper cabinet. Of course, for that rural living, you got all this cabinetry for storage. People use, our customers really use their utility and mudroom spaces. Need a lot of storage. They're not necessarily close to a big box store or a big supermarket or anything like that. So when they go to town, as it is, they got to have space to put stuff. Their paper towels and toiletries, all that kind of good stuff. So
good. Couple more things in the bathroom. Again, grab bar in that shower.
Mm-hmm.
And they went with the comfort height toilets. You can see it's a little bit taller than normal.
Yeah, definitely thinking that long-term aging in place, universal design. I think that's really, really smart. They must have had a really good consultant to tell them all that stuff, JC. Who knows? That's really good.
Learning fast. We're good.
Awesome. Well, let's get back. I'll bet you there are more questions. So thank you for sharing that home with us, JC. Beautiful job. Well done. One of the many, many, many homes that you helped bring to fruition last year. So great work.
So Arena has a question about flooring. She was curious if it's possible to use a different Shaw LVP floor in their house that's not currently offered in the design center.
So what I'd recommend you do, Arena, is get us the specs on it, like what the actual material is. Let us get with our Shaw rep. Let's get with Wiseman Baker Builder Services, which is who we use, and they're one of the largest. In fact, I think probably the largest distributor in North America for Shaw. What we won't be able to get is if it is like a big box store specific. So if it's something that is exclusive to like a Lowe's or a Home Depot or something like that, we will not be able to offer that. That's how they sign those exclusivity agreements with them. But outside of that, there's probably a very good chance we can get it or something very, very close to it.
Okay, wonderful. R.S. Fernandez is saying he's building a Tilson home, the Magnolia, and has been told that the electric meter can't be within 3 feet from a door or a window. Why is that?
That's the National Electric Code, Mr. Fernandez. And unfortunately, we are bound by, well, fortunately or unfortunately, when we look at it, we're bound by the codes. I can tell you that's why we do it. I cannot tell you why they adopted that as code. I'm sure, part of it is, you got fire safety and different things like that. But the door, for sure, you don't want it either swinging in where it would block access to the electrical panel or something like that. But yeah, you cannot have it within 3 feet of a door or window. There's actually other restrictions surrounding that too, as far as how close it can be to like a gas stub and the septic stub, those kinds of things. So, but yeah, unfortunately, that is the National Electric Code. We're bound to that.
Okay. Brian has a question. He says, we mentioned in a previous video that the septic goes in last. With the way his house needs to go on his lot, the septic will need to go in first. The back will not be accessible once the foundation is poured. Can this be arranged?
What do you think, JC?
Yes, did it recently with a very narrow lot. There just wasn't going to be enough room to get the equipment back behind once the slab was in place. So we had them install the septic system first. And then we just are really careful with trying to keep anybody from running over it. We usually ask you to do it after all of our big trucks are out of the way for that safety reason. We don't want to crush your new septic system. But in cases like that, Brian, we can make that happen for you.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. April is saying she's building with Tilson and was wondering about the white front porch post. Are those hardy wrapped posts or are they composite?
These are composite posts that are on this home.
Okay.
In fact, specifically, they are a 12 by 12. Actually, this is a 12 by 12 job built column. So sometimes they're hardy wrap, sometimes they're a composite. You'd want to get with your design consultant to double check and be sure on exactly what comes on that particular home and if there's something specific that you're wanting.
Okay. Tracy is saying that they've got a few conflicting answers about construction drive. What width does it need to be?
Well, I typically say no less than 12. It needs to be as wide as possible, no less than 12. Now, that doesn't necessarily, that's for the width of equipment coming in, tires coming in. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily the case of width between trees. We definitely need more width than that between trees. So you figure, if you've ever seen lumber being delivered off like an 18-wheeler, they have those kind of spider lips that they carry on the back. They're like a little piggyback. And those little guys get off the back of the 18-wheeler trailer, the tractor trailer, and they go around to the side. Now, we may be shipping 16 and in some cases 20-foot long pieces of lumber. Well, we have to be able to lift that off the truck, safely turn, drop the load, and then drive onto your property. So the width of the vehicle needs at least 12 feet, but you're going to need 16 to 20 feet between trees because the material won't go on the side. So while the road itself for tires needs to be about 12 feet wide, you do need to have 20 feet or more of width between trees. Really, the safe would be 30. It would be ideal. But so Hopefully maybe that's the confusion. If it doesn't clear it up, ask us again and we'll see what's going on.
Yeah. Okay. makes sense. And Richard is asking about if we've ever worked with any subcontractors that install rainwater collection systems.
JC, what do you say?
It is possible. However, it's going to depend on comparable sales in the area. Same person who had to have that septic system installed before her slab went in wanted a rain, and I do have a contact for a water system. But when they went to the appraisal, they couldn't find comparable sales of homes that had rainwater collection, so the financing wasn't going to work. You have to have water. That's the only way. The home has to be operational, and you have to have a water source. So this customer had to drill a well just because there was no way to pay for that, and the underwriters for that finance company were not going to green light that build.
Yeah, and for clarification, Richard, he's talking about this particular customer he's speaking of wanted it to be their primary water source.
Right.
If you're wanting the rainwater collection as just kind of a supplementary, or maybe to water plants, something like that, that's a little bit different deal. But yeah, having a primary water source that is a sustainable water well or city water, something like that, and then beyond that, we like the hill country type offices, they're going to have those type of contacts for getting hold of a rainwater collection, but it's not something that we typically outsource.
True. And in some cases, they're going to require that you have a metal roof. But there are systems now with this contractor I'm aware of. They have filtration systems. They can do it on a composition shingle roof.
Okay.
There you go.
Follow the science. Learn something every day.
Charlotte is asking if after the stakeout, when can we give them the price of the foundation?
Well, typically we've got to have the plans signed, and then we order that foundation design once the plans are signed by the customer. So your plans have to be done first. Drafting has to finish them, and then your sales consultant will get notified. They'll bring you in for an appointment to do that plan approval process. Once you approve those plans and physically sign them, that coupled with your stakeout gets sent out to the engineer. And also while that's happening, assuming we had good access to your site and it's cleared, where we can get on there and do a geotechnical investigation, that's happening while your plans are being done. So the engineer goes ahead and sends their geotech out there. They collect the geotechnical investigation, whatever samples they're going to be doing, and then they have that data waiting on us to send the signed plans over to them. So it's a couple weeks.
Okay. Mark is asking if it's feasible to have us do a soil test before they buy and sign for land around Lake Limestone or Lake Livingston.
I mean, it's feasible. Anybody could get a soil test done. There's not a real reason to spend that money at that point, because the soil is going to be what it's going to be. It's not going to change before or after you sign a contract with us or any other builder. So because the soil test isn't really enough, you still have to have the home design, and you still have to have grade shots, site evaluation, all of that data. It's more than just the soil test that goes into figuring out what a foundation is going to cost. The soil test is just one component of that. You still need grade shots. Like I said, you still need the exact site plan. So we still need to have the exact out of level of the site. All that data is required. So you're going to have to do all that anyway. And so there's not really an advantage to having it done beforehand, because you're not going to have a set of plans to base that pricing on.
Okay. All right. Tracy is asking what color stain they had on their cabinets in this home.
Brownish gray. It's brownish.
Yeah. We recently went to Kentmore Cabinets. That's probably closest to Whiskey Barrel in the Kentmore. The cabinet company that supplied those cabinets for Preston and Margie, that was a color I believe called driftwood. But Whiskey Barrel is probably going to be the closest that we have now.
Okay.
Or Gray Wolf might work also. Take a look at Gray Wolf.
I think
Okay.
either Nick or Kelsey won answered them and told them to.
Yeah.
Gray Wolf. Yep.
Stick with your first answer. She said they went with Whiskey Barrel. It's definitely Whiskey Barrel.
Yep. Somewhere between the two.
Thanks for asking, Tracy. We appreciate
Whichever one
it.
you like better. Mark is asking, does Tilson offer 3-ply windows with a lower E rating? And if yes, what's that upgrade cost?
I don't know, Mark. We don't have a lot of requests for that. We would probably have to get up into like a Pella or an Anderson or even a Marvin window, it's going to be very, very expensive. You're going to have a very hard time. I mean, the low E rating is on all of our windows anyway. Our double pane vinyl tilt sash windows that we get from Crestmark already have the low E rating. So you don't have to step up into a triple pane to do that. You really only see triple pane windows used in extreme cold environments. So your Wyomings, your Colorados, North Dakotas, and even then, it's not a standard feature. It's going to be something you see in extremely high-end custom homes. It's just not something that you're going to be able to make your money back from an energy saving standpoint. I mean, you can spend goo gobs of money on all kinds of energy efficiency things on your home. The question is, A, how long will it take you to recoup that capital expense that you put out there? B, will the equipment that you're using last that long? So let's say you average it out, it's going to take you 32 years to recoup the cost, based on what the energy bill is going to be and the savings you may have. Well, is that AC equipment or that whatever widget or gadget it is going to last 32 years? I don't know. So that's something that we can get you pricing on, but my guess is it's going to be so cost prohibitive in this area in most of where we build in Texas that there's even Dallas Fort Worth. It doesn't get that cold. I mean, you need to have like minus temperature for that to be a real viable option.
Okay.
Financially, we can put it anywhere. We can put it on Galveston Island if you want to.
Awesome. Arena just wanted to say thanks for answering her questions and thank you for doing these videos. They help so much. And she's afraid that we're sick of her by now. And of course we are not. We love.
We may ask you to host one so we can have a week off, but we're not sticking.
All right. Make that appointment, Arena. We're going to have you on our live. Taylor is asking if we backfill. Right now his foundation is super high.
Yeah, I don't know where you're building, Taylor, exactly. So it's going to depend on where you're building.
Comal County.
Comal County. The answer is not typically no. If you drive through the subdivisions and things like that there, you're going to notice, like in JC's neck of the woods, it's exposed slab. And which is why we have an extra thing that we do out there that we don't do in the Gulf Coast or North Texas, and that's called sand topping or underpinning. So almost like a stucco coating on that large piece of the section of the concrete that you're left exposed there. But no, that's kind of one of those win in Rome things. Now we can get bids to backfill if that's a really important thing to you, but it's not typically something that is done in the hill country.
Okay.
And it's going to get expensive. If you're chasing a hill down, you're looking at possibly, you don't want to bring a truckload of fill back there, and the first rainstorm, it washes down the hill. So now you're looking at retaining walls and other expenses. Anything's possible, but it's just a matter of money.
Okay. That makes sense. Are you about to draw, Eric?
I am. It's not pretty, but I do want to. I want him to have his question answered.
Okay.
Correctly. I mean, JC nailed it. It's just hard to visualize. He mentioned chasing a hill, and that's a hard thing to visualize. So this is going poorly. Let's go to the next question.
Okay, so Imelda is just giving a shout out to your coworkers there in Boerne, JC. They came and visited y'all last week, saw the model homes and fell in love with them. She worked with Leah, who was amazing and very knowledgeable. It was a pleasant experience. If they decide to build, they're definitely going with Tilson.
Excellent.
Thanks so
if
much.
they decide to build, Imelda,
You want to build.
You want to build.
You want to build.
So here's kind of the best I can do for what we're talking about here. This is not great, but here's the high point over here where the top of your slab is, Taylor. We're going to build that slab out level. So here's that tall, the low point of your property with a tall foundation. And what JC means when he's saying chasing that hill, this hill is going to continue downward for who knows how far. And so if you try to start putting fill in here, it could get real expensive real quick as you start to chase this hill downward. And then, like you said, the very first rain, this is all going to wash away. Mm-hmm. And that's why you don't see it done a lot in the hill country. That's one reason. The other reason is obtaining, quote, good, clean fill is also not as easy to do out there because there's a lot of rock. So you go to get clean fill, you're going to pay a significant amount of dollars per load because they're having to get all that rock out of it, whereas more like the North Texas or the Gulf Coast area, getting clean fill dirt is not as difficult. You're just paying for diesel. So your options are either pay a lot of money to have it trucked in from a long way off with trucks that get 6 to 9 miles to the gallon because they're big dump trucks. It just becomes pretty cost prohibitive pretty quick, which is why you normally see in the hill country the large idle levels left as they are, because you end up, like JC said it perfectly, chasing that hill forever, to the end of your property, and then it washes away. It's just frustrating.
Okay. That makes sense. Cindy is asking if we have a plan that includes more of a farmhouse kitchen.
I think we need, everybody has a different idea of what a farmhouse kitchen is. Cindy, I'd encourage you to send us a picture of what you want and let us chase that. Let us go after that and see if we can't make it happen for you.
Perfect.
I'm going to say yes, we do.
Yes, we need to know exactly what.
Yeah, we just need to see exactly what you're looking for, and we'll help you find it. Yeah. Tracy is saying their home site is on a hill, so will the big trucks like the lumber trucks stay on the cul-de-sac and have the lumber trucked up?
Tracy, without seeing the exact site with my own eyes, I can't tell you for sure. I do know our site evaluator will be able to tell you that, and they'll let you know how we're going to be getting up and down. But that's not something that it's beyond us being able to tackle.
Okay. Larry is asking on the foundation costs, with everybody asking with the question about foundation costs. What are we talking about? He thought the price listed includes foundation.
All right. Well, Larry, great question. Glad you asked. And we have an entire video on that. I don't know if it's launched yet or not. Maybe this week, next week, who knows? Anyway, so
it's coming.
It's coming. So we have standards for every county across the state that we've taken historical data and said, okay, in Comal County or Bexar County or Montgomery County or Grayson County or Collin County, we typically see our engineer typically requires X, okay, 12-inch by 28-inch deep beams and a 14.5-inch start height or something like that. And that varies by county. And anywhere from 6-inch to 24 inches of drop is included, depending on the county. So based on the site evaluation that's done on your property when we stake the home out, and based on the engineer's recommendations from the geotechnical investigation, if it falls within those normal design parameters that hit like 85% of the homes that we see, there won't be an additional charge. However, if the engineer says, well, based on the plasticity index or the potential expansion or potential vertical rise of this soil type, or based on the disturbance of soil, maybe there was a house there or trees there before that have been all balled up, so we've disturbed the soil a lot. In a situation like that, they may come back and say, we'd feel a lot better with, instead of 28-inch deep beams, 36-inch deep beams. And we'd also like to see some hard points around the perimeter, or maybe a hatch beam over here, which is kind of a deeper beam, where maybe this side of the home is, where there were a whole bunch of oak trees that were taken out. If they see something like that and specify it, that's where the additional foundation would. So the foundation cost is in fact included. Pretty extensive foundation cost is included in all of our homes. It only costs more if the engineer's design falls outside of those initial parameters. And every design center has the parameters for every county across the state of Texas. So we can tell you up front what's included. What we can't tell you is, based on that geotechnical investigation and the site evaluation, what the engineer is ultimately going to require. But we do know they're going to require whatever it takes to make the house perform in multiple seasons of both drought and extreme moisture.
Okay.
The video is much better.
All right. Kimberly is saying she hopes to see JC in about 2 years to sign her contract.
I'll be here.
For the record, I also hope to see JC in 2 years.
Outstanding.
Same.
Popular.
Cindy is asking, in Montgomery County, what is the average time to build?
Yeah, it's still running about, it's running about 10 to 12 months. We're just telling people to prepare for 12 to 14. We just don't know what's on the horizon from a supply chain disruption side. We have not gotten out of the woods on lumber mills and, like JC said, window companies and appliance cabinet pulls, like you name it. It's a weird deal. Something will pop up next week that has never been an issue before. And now we're waiting 4 weeks on it. Brick has become a more recent one that it's very disruptive. A lot of brick plants have shut down. So
okay.
Acme has not shut down, which is who we use, but a lot of builders that don't ordinarily use them have had to shift to using them because the brick manufacturer they did use shut down. So it's put a big strain on their supply chain.
Interesting.
Welcome to the party. It's 2021.
All right. Richard is saying that the Frio plan is their front runner, but is curious if there's somewhere he could see more photos of a Goliad. Richard, we will try to find some for you. I'm not sure if we have them, but if we do have them, we will post them on our website. Not sure if we've actually built that one yet.
Maybe JC's cabinet right there behind you, that big file cabinet, is full of pictures of the Goliad. Could be. Could be. I don't know when to find out.
I'm not sure if we've actually completed one of those yet. That used to be before. The Goliad used to be our Belleville model before we revamped it. And I think that change came in about a year, maybe-ish ago. So I'm not sure we actually completed one. There might be some job photos out there we can find.
Yeah, we can search for you. And then Lisa is asking about the new Granbury. Our photos of that coming soon. That one is brand new. So we will be working on some renderings that'll be later this year before we will get to that. I know that one we have sold some of. So they signed it actually the week the plan was launched. So as soon as we have pictures from the field, we will definitely share those. All right. And then Mark is saying these lives and other videos are top notch. Please keep up the good work. Thank you so much for watching, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for staying up.
And then Texan Jim Bob is asking, are cabinet pulls site installed or could it be a delete? So do they have to put in cabinet pulls?
No. Nope, they don't. And they would get a little small credit for the cabinet pulls. They could install their own later on. I mean, if that's the way you want to spend your weekend. We have a great selection. We just revamped our selection of cabinet pulls. We've got a lot bigger variety now. I invite you to go to one of the sales centers and take a look at what we have for you now.
Mm-hmm. Good advice.
And if you are going to do your own, definitely measure twice and drill once, because there's no undrilling that hole.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely. And that is all the questions that I see. I do see a thank you from Tracy.
Tracy?
Oh, and then, sorry, Kayla snuck in asking about the Preston. We do not have a Preston model, sorry. We're looking for pictures on that one because we have been getting a lot of requests lately.
Very cool. I see Charlotte's building
a Frio. Oops, wrong one. Charlotte. There's Charlotte building a Frio in Comal County. Brian, curious. I know my parents had a Tilson home built about 1989, and he did some of the work. When did we stop letting customers do that?
Well, actually, a lot of lenders are the ones that stopped that. So lenders did not like not guaranteeing a completely finished home. The building codes got a lot more strict. So obviously, you're talking 30 plus years ago, the building codes weren't anywhere near what they are today. So you could probably get away with doing a lot of things yourself, unlicensed or that wouldn't have had to, not nearly as stringent on code requirements. And so that all went away. And as the code requirements increased, so did the demand for what the lenders were expecting. So a lot of that, the lenders they're not going to accept the homeowner doing their own unless you're an actual contractor.
And what I tell our customers is we want to control everything from warehouse to installation. We have an excellent warranty program. And if we're in charge, we know if something goes wrong, we're going to back up that warranty. We're going to take care of you. Work like that, we can't stand behind it if we don't do it.
Yeah.
And I did just get an update from Kelsey that we do have a Goliad. It just got put in Jack, and she's going to add it to the website.
Perfect. Thank you, Kelsey.
Got that inside scoop. See.
Inside scoop. And Richard is saying he did visit our Waxahachie Design Center last weekend and had a great experience. Staff was friendly and informative. Thank you so much.
Thanks for telling us that. That's wonderful.
And then Mark has more Windows question asking about tilt and turn or swing and pivot windows and doors.
I can see the Germany building codes are coming out in Mr. Miller. So
yes.
Tilt and turn, I'm not familiar with, other than that that's what we're referring to as our casement windows, which we do offer. In fact, the model that we just talked about has casement windows in the master bedroom. Isn't that right? And probably in the family room as well, standard, those two small windows up top. The Guadalupe also has some big casement windows in it. So we do offer, and I don't know what, you tilt a little device and then you spin it and it opens the window, pivots it out. So we call that either an awning window if it opens like this, or a casement window if it opens like this. And we do offer both of those.
I think what I might be talking about is a window with an axis in the middle where you just take the whole pane and twist it, open and close.
That I don't know about.
I don't know if we can source. I've seen them overseas, and they either pivot on the horizontal or on the vertical. But I don't.
I also know that air conditioning is not as widely used in Germany as it is in Texas. At least in Texas where we build, it's they do a lot more opening of the home out there they have better weather, quite frankly. There's just no other way around.
I was going to say, you can't really do that in Texas. I mean, you could if you really, really like the hot.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Craig is saying the Frio seems quite popular. They just signed on theirs in San Jacinto County.
Awesome.
Let's see. Kayla's asking, are there any floor plans that have the master behind the kitchen? I think actually the Frio that we just saw, that's how it's arranged. That master suite is behind the kitchen. Trying to think which other ones we have that are like that.
There's probably
there's probably a few. Send us an email, Kayla, and we can send you some examples of that. Let's see. Rebecca's thanking us for the videos. They're building in Nacogdoches and are very excited. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Rebecca. Thanks for watching.
A question specifically about Medina from Lisa. How is that county functioning with COVID delays? Are you seeing anything?
Going just fine. Medina County is blowing up right now. A lot of the old German and Alsatian farmers send their kids to really good schools like Texas A&M. And they have careers now. They don't want to chase cows. They don't want to plant sorghum. So they're deeding this out to kids and grandkids, or they're selling it to developers who are subdividing it out and putting in subdivisions. I'd say 3 out of the 5 homes I've sold this year have been in Medina County. It used to be Gillespie County and Kendall and Kerr were my hot zones. Medina County has become a very hot zone. The builder out there, Daniel, is awesome. He's carrying a good load. That Chauncey's helping him out there because it's just it's going up.
Yeah, but Medina County is the #1 county in the state by volume for Tilson in 2020.
Oh wow!
The contract sold and houses under construction. It's leading the way. It's ahead of Montgomery County, Navarro County. It's ahead of Bexar County. So it's a busy place. A lot of folks want to get out there.
Nice.
But it's the same. COVID's going to affect every county in Texas and every state in the union.
Okay, great. Let's see. Tracy is saying they're doing a rain collection system. Can Tilson connect the tank plumbing, or do they need to connect the tank to the house?
You're going to need to connect the tank, and I would say connect it to a filtration system first before you connect it to the plumbing of the home.
Okay. Texan Jim Bob is building the Granbury. Building Travis. Building the Travis. Lots of options in Granbury. Cannot wait to see the form set. Very excited. Thanks to Eric and crew for all of the videos and live shows.
Mainly the crew.
Melissa is also building the Travis in Arath County. Haven't seen any photos of the Travis. We'll be sure to send pictures to Darla and Weatherford as we progress. Thank you. We appreciate you sharing all of those. And let's see. And then,
shout out to North Central Texas. Erath is way out there. I love it.
Nice. Ephraim is asking, I want to make sure that every structure on our property will match their future Tilson home. So is Tilson exterior siding and stone options exclusive to Tilson, or can I purchase the exterior options?
Oh no, you can definitely. There's nothing that we offer that can't be bought. Getting it out there is the challenge, of course. The hardy plank is just hardy. You buy it and paint it whatever Sherwin-Williams color you want. And then on the stone, it's usually from a local quarry, a local yard. We buy it from one supplier, and then they have it staged in various areas around the state so that we can get some level of consistency. But of course, with stone, it's a naturally occurring product, so it is going to vary slightly. But close enough where I think it'll get the job done for what you're trying to do. Great question.
Perfect. Richard is asking if there's time left, if we can answer him. Their 9-acre property has a lot of trees, and they'd like to minimize the tree removal and root compression. I'm looking to put in the goalie ed. How do we normally manage this in similar projects?
So you're going to need plan on just having 100 by 100 area, 100 foot by 100 foot area cleared. And if it's not cleared even immediately, probably the trees and things that are in that area are going to get shocked, which is what the root compression you're talking about. So it happens with large equipment, bulldozer, something like that, rolling back and forth over the roots, which are, anything within the drip line of a tree. It may not die immediately, but it probably will die of shock over the next 24 to 36 months. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast. It doesn't always happen, okay, but I don't want to give you a false sense of security thinking that if we clear around a tree, it's going to not die. But anything, just plan on at least 80 by 80, but more realistically, probably 100 by 100 around the house. With the exception of some cases, we can do some mitigation of, around 100-year-old oak tree or something like that and just fence it off. And that's what I have seen some customers do is get silt fencing or orange fencing and just literally fence around and declare an area off limits to workers and trucks. And it really takes that level of attentiveness to make sure. But we also, too, we like to minimize the tree removal. So we'd like to help you out, and we can help with the planning of that as well.
Okay, great. Let's see. Gerson is asking if we work with VA loans.
What do you say, JC?
Yep, I'm a vet too. We definitely do it all the time. Our trusted lenders can run that VA loan for you and make it happen. We sell the vet all day, every day.
Okay, awesome. And then Pat wants you to know, JC, that their Angelina is almost complete.
I heard from your team that it's really turning out beautiful, and they're planning on taking a bunch of pictures of it.
Awesome. And then Joel is asking if it would be possible to put a 12-foot porch on the right side of the house to create a wraparound porch.
The right side of the Frio, 100%. We can make that happen.
Awesome. And then we have a question about how long it takes to build a standard home from the time that we deliver the lumber on the site to the finished product, and about how much is charged to make changes, structural, adding a finished item during the building process.
Well, construction time's about 200 days, 210 days, somewhere in there, about 6 to 8 months is what we tell folks for actual construction. So from when we start construction to when it's finished. And then how much is charged? We don't charge anything to make changes. So we don't charge just for changing the plans. What we do charge for is kind of a net difference from what was there to what you're adding, let's say. So if you're adding 2 feet across the back of the house, you would just be charged for the 2 feet times however wide, let's say the 20-foot family room, so 40 square feet. And alternatively, you're credited if you don't use it.
But we do want to make all those changes during the design phase.
Yes, not once construction starts.
Not once construction starts. We can't add another 2 feet of slab after it's already been poured.
Well said.
And then we have your design. Your builder has everything framed out. We start moving doors and windows or trying to do that during construction. We'll spend as much time with the design center trying to get you the perfect home or the nearly perfect home you want. But we really need to work hard with your sales consultant to get the home you want before it gets to the construction phase.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
And also, Dicko, on the adding a finishing item, you're going to get with the sales consultant directly on that. We have an e-price book that's a very sophisticated and extensive list of everything that we offer. So there's not really a way we have to just price out adding a finished item. Point to whatever you like. If it's a plumbing fixture, a light fixture, a countertop, a cabinet style, a door, a paint, a trim, something like that. Let's, we get it priced out for you in what we call our desktop pricing. We price it out in front of you.
Some clarification from him. He's talking about changing doors, adding a window, nothing pad related.
Yep. It just depends. It depends on what you want to change. And we have pricing for every single one of those. So.
Okay. And then Theo is letting us know that he is building a Preston in Robertson County. So hopefully we can show his when we're done.
If you're offering, Theo, we're doing it.
We'll do it. Definitely. And let's see. Luann says, howdy from Jones Creek. Still waiting on variants for septic. Oh, no, because we talked about that several weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear that, but we love hearing from you as well. All right. And that is all the questions I see. So,
Again,
I think we're done.
all right.
I'm calling it. Last call.
Thank you for doing this. I know you're a busy man. Congratulations on great successes. I know you're headed on vacation soon, so go enjoy yourself. You've earned it. Dawn, thank you for putting this together. Kelsey and Nick, thank you for monitoring this, and thank every single one of you who bore with us today and watched through this, asked us questions. You can reach out to us on all of our different mediums. Obviously, we have 11 design centers open 7 days a week, 10 to 6 Monday through Saturday, noon to 6 on Sundays. We got our website. It's got a treasure trove of information. Of course, our YouTube channel. I guess we're on the Instagram still, and then Facebook. A lot of good information over there. Reach out to us any way you want. We want to get your questions answered, and we genuinely soon hope to make you part of the Tilson family. See you guys later.